Dear students, today I am taking up chapter 18, Upward and Downward arrow. In the beginning, we have learned this upward and downward arrow. There, some rules are given. They are called as oval rule. So, we have learned this oval rule. The first rule is when a word begins with R and if there is a preceding vowel, you have to write downward R, air, Arab, arrow, etc. The second rule is when a word ends with R, then in that case, if R vowel follows R, you have to write upward R, otherwise downward R. Example, car, carry, after R there is vowel, it is written upward. Mar, downward R. But marry, after R there is vowel, it is written upward. Before M, R is always written downwards, as in Rome, Ream, Rim, Aurum, Army, Armor, etc. So these three are called oval rule. These rules are not taken into consideration in the following cases. The first rule is before T, D, Che, J, it, Kal, Gal, and Ve. Before these consonants, if or comes, irrespective of the vowel, whether there is a preceding vowel or a following vowel, before these consonant or is always written upwards. Example, irate, here before or vowel is there. So if you apply before or vowel is there, if you apply vowel rule, what happens? You have to write downward R and T. It doesn't give good joining. So before T, whether vowel precedes or follows, we must always write upward R. In the same way, urge, U-R-G, urge, before J also, R is always written upward. Ert, before it also, we have to write upward R. O-R-A-C-L-E, oracle, before kal also, R is written upwards, irrespective of the vowel, whether it precedes or follows. The next rule is generally after two downward stroke or is written upwards. Here the word generally is important. It has its own significance. Suppose if I say generally I don't take coffee, what does it mean? 99% of the case I will not take coffee, but sometimes I may take coffee. That is what the word generally implies. So that is after two downward strokes. In 99 cases, after two downward strokes, R is written upward. But in some cases, Even after two downstroke, R is written downward. That is what this word generally implies. Example, prepare, per and P, there are two downstroke, R is written upward. Shakespeare, ish, K surplus P, ray, ish and P are downward stroke, so R is written upward. But in there is a word, pinafore. Here, P, N, F, there are two downward strokes. If you write after two downward stroke or upward, what happens? It looks as though you have written N doubled or ish doubled, etc. So to avoid that, even though there are two downward stroke, R is written downward only. So that's why I say generally the upward form is preferable after two downstroke, but sometimes we can write even downward R after two downstrokes. Next rule. Next rule. After upward stroke, the R is written upward, as in where. Where is an upward stroke, R is written upward. Y-O-R-E, your, A is upward stroke, R is written upward. Roar, upward stroke. Rare, A, upward stroke. But if a word ends with syllable er, that syllable er is always represented by downward R. So roar we write like this. Roarer, you have to write downward R. In the same way, rare, rarer, we have to write downward R to represent the syllable er. After the form Fs and Ns, and after straight upstroke circled for S, if R comes, it is written upward. For example, officer, nicer. Here R will be, upward R will be convenient to write. Razor. Here also, raise there, it is followed immediately by circle. And when another R comes, it is written upward, as in razor. When R comes medially in a word, the medial R is generally written upward. Here also the word generally is important. What does it mean? 99% of the cases, the medial R is written upward. But sometimes the medial R may be written downward also. That is what this word generally implies. Example, spurn, S-P-U-R-N, surplus P, ray, N, park, P, ray, K, portion, parsnip, terrify, etc. But this medial R is written downward also in the following case. For example, you have to write the outline for arrange, downward R, N, and J. Now we have to write disarrange. The word disarrange is derived from the root word arrange. So arrange is the root word. Disarrange is derived from the root word arrange. That's why disarrange is a derivative word. The rule is if you use downward R in the root word, in the derivative word also, you have to use the same form. So disarrange, you should not think it is a medial or upward. You should not write like this. You have to write D circle downward R N and J only. When R is finally hooked, then R is written upward, as in the case of N hook, Shan hook, F hook, etc. Burn, there is N hook, R is written upward. Tariff, there is F hook at the end, it is written upward. Portion, there is a Shan hook at the end, it is written upward. Now you see the word clerk and cleric. In these two words, R is a medial one. So if you write for both medial or upward, what happens? Clerk, cleric. Then both of them look alike. In such case, what we do is, for one word, medial R is written downward. For clerk, medial R, we write downward R. For cleric, medial R, we write upward R. So that we can distinguish between two words having the same consonant structure. This is about the theory, end of the theory. Now in this, some phrases and contractions are given. You'll see in page 84. Bal above the line is by all. Bal, M circle, by all means. Tal above the line, it represents at all. Tal, K loop circle, at all costs. Nar above the line, in our. Nar, Yenuk, in our opinion. Every, add ing, it becomes everything. Surplus, yam, ing, something. N, ing, above the line, it represents anything. N, ing, on the line, it represents nothing. Practice these phrases and contractions several times, and whatever grammar-logs that have come in the previous chapters also, you write at least one line each so that you can memorize them. Now you open exercise 69. As usual, you read the shorthand outlines, copy the shorthand outlines and transcribe. You open the key that is given at the end. You check up whether you have written the outlines correctly. If you have made any mistake, write those outlines several times so that it is not repeated. Next, exercise 70. Open the key. There you will find shorthand outlines. Read those shorthand outlines, copy those shorthand outlines and transcribe them. Then you check up with the key that is at exercise 70 in page number 84. If you have made any mistake, correct those outlines by writing several times. Now I will give the dictation. Please get ready. Exercise 71. Start. 2. Secure the best from himself and to give right service to others. Both the clerical worker and the manual laborer must have fresh air and healthy rooms to live in, bright, airy rooms into which the sun's rays may pour and the breezes blow when desirable. Dark rooms retain germs of disease and either reduce the worker's life or weaken his physical strength so as to make him unable to do severe work, either of brain or muscle. A robust man may carry on for a time in dreary rooms, but eventually such places must cause injury to him and bring on loss of force and energy. He will arise in the early morn, dull and weary from the outset, in place of rising merry and bright and ready for anything in the day's work. In our opinion, the brighter the rooms we live and work in, the better our work is likely to be. Next, exercise 72. Get ready for dictation. Start. The food eaten by man bears something like the same relation to his power of working as the coal thrown into the furnace bears to the engine which drives the rotary press or draws the train. The power in our arms or in our brains is rightly said to be produced in our stomach, and it is from the same organ we derive the force necessary to rouse us to severe exertion in the earning of the wage or salary we receive for our services. Something of the value of our work rests upon the strength producing value of our food. At all costs and by all means, we should take measures to ensure the food value of everything we eat.